like to welcome you to an exclusive podcast here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have our first ever exclusive interview with a Twitch broadcaster by the name of Captain Redbeard. It's about to be lit tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned. Be with us in just a few moments. We'll be ready. I'm slightly nervous.
Are you a little nervous? Why?
A little bit. Just a little bit. Because last time I did an interview, it kind of just like...
Didn't go exactly well.
It went well, but it was like a nuclear bomb had went off because you asked that one question and then it would just...
I mean, there's always going to be those like button topics, though, you know, that started up.
Oh, believe me. All right, let me... Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the Red Ring podcast here tonight as we have an exclusive interview, our first ever with Captain Redbeard of Twitch TV and serious business.
Strictly business.
Strictly business. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm already messing up. Ain't that, that's
man.
a damn shame.
You wanna interview this guy?
Oh. I already messed it up. My apologies to everybody out there, but we're here. Sorry for the delay. I know it's supposed to start at 8, but it's not. What, 8:28? About 9 on the East Coast and about 6 on the West. My apologies to everybody. I was hungry. I work for the United States Postal Service. Eating comes second to the job. So
it's like work, food, podcast.
Right. So I had to eat first, but we're here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get down. So I'd like to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, who don't know who Captain Redbeard is. I'd like to introduce you to one of the finest individuals that we have out here. His name is Captain Redbeard. He is a great individual. Y'all should always enjoy great streamers out there. And this is one of my good buddies, a Nashville Twitch streamer. So Captain Redbeard, say hello to everybody out there.
What's going on, guys? Thank you guys for having me on the show. You guys can just call me Dan for short. It's a little easier for some people. Or Daddy Dan. I sometimes go by Daddy Dan or Dope Man Dan.
Well, yeah, that's true. And if anybody who's watching on Twitch, you can check us out on twitch.tv/Captain Redbeard. So let me explain how do you spell this as normal as possible. It's still, as you hear, Captain Redbeard. Just the only thing you need to change is the E in beard to a 3, and you'll be able to access the live video that you can see everybody in. Or you can join us here on Spreaker.com/user/the Red Ring. You can get in the live chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this interview down packed, ready to go, because there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be talked about. There's questions that have already been presented towards me. There's some that were sent to me privately to ask Captain Redbeard personally. So, let's get down to business. So, Cap, so tell us all about you, who you are, where you from, what you got going on.
Well, as you've already mentioned, I'm Captain Redbeard, aka Dan. Just turned 26 years old, from the Nashville area. I guess you could call me in terms of streaming, a variety streamer. I've been buckling down a lot on COD and PUBG. Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, but you know, I kind of roll with it, you know, whatever I'm feeling as far as the streaming goes.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem. I've come by the stream quite a bit, and for a time it was all PUBG, and then now lately it's been Call of Duty. Which, speaking of the streaming group that you're in, I seem to notice that they do play a lot of Call of Duty, and they do send people to competition. So it kind of made me kind of like, is he planning on competition, not telling nobody, or is we just playing a lot of Call of Duty?
Well, I mean, just a lot of COD, man. I mean, to get put into something like that, it's a lot of time investment and a lot of knowing the right people, making the right choices, and just being good enough, you know, at that level, that skill level. That's a totally next level thing. So me, I've just always had a passion for COD. I grew up, it was actually my first online experience.
Well, okay.
You know,
I
so
can't blame you there.
I'm a little biased. You know, I'm a little biased. You know, you can throw the hate at the COD. I'm probably still gonna, unfortunately, here's my $60 every year.
I can't blame you there. My first walk into online gaming was a MOBA. Actually, well, no, was it a MOBA? I think you still call it a MOBA, but it was City of Heroes. If anybody remember the game, it was a long time ago. It was City of Heroes, and I believe it was called City of Villains. You either play the disc that you had either was Heroes or Villains. That was the first time I ever walked into a game that actually had subscriptions. So that was just like, I'm gonna play this and see what happens. And I liked it, and I had my hero, but my power was just like really, really crazy. But we're not gonna talk about me. We're talking about you. So to bring up the first question, the question was presented in your Discord in particular. They wanting to know, what do you think? Well, what do we think about the particular controversy with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5? Now, for most people who don't know what the controversy is, if you don't keep up with gaming, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is not having a single player campaign. So it is pretty much all online. For most people, that doesn't seem like the biggest of deals. But now it brings up what I have always felt about Call of Duty. A lot of people are now seeing that. It's just like, okay, now you don't have a single player campaign. What do we do?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of different opinions on this, and me personally, I don't walk to the store, get on the PlayStation Store, and download it just to boot up the campaign first and foremost.
True.
I mean, I would be lying if I said, hey, last year I bought COD World War II at launch, I booted up and played through the campaign the first night. I would be lying. Right. First thing I did was I went to the multiplayer. I checked out the multiplayer. I seen what I thought. I played that for a couple of days and then dove into the campaign. Loved the campaign. It was just short. I could tell that their focus wasn't campaign, storytelling. It was multiplayer. You got to look at who their publisher is. It's Activision. They're there to make money. You know what I mean? Right. So they're there to make money. And in my opinion, in the argument of multiplayer is a priority of, that's where most of their money's going to be made. So from a developer's perspective, it makes total sense.
Okay.
Most of their money is in that. But from my background of being, for example, a GameStop employee, I don't know if any of you guys knew that. I used to work at GameStop, and I used to sell, that's another topic for another day.
That's a sore subject.
But, that was a game that people would come in year after year, and exactly. And where I lived at the particular time, you either had shoddy internet or you didn't have internet at all. And those people that even didn't have internet, they were buying that COD every single year to play that experience, that offline experience. And then if they went to a buddy's house, they would take their Xbox or their PlayStation with them and then link up and play together at their house, where they had internet access. So I have mixed feelings about it. I see from a developer's perspective the benefit, and then I also see where it's going to hurt them a lot in the long run.
Well, I mean, I see it in the long run of how it's going to hurt them, but I also see it in the perspective of how people have viewed Call of Duty over the years. I'll probably say going probably right back to getting a PlayStation 3, when we really deep diving into internet access.
Online.
A lot of people, they still played the campaign, but it was mostly, let's get online, let's see how many people we can kill, let's see how many times we can prestige, let me see, what my KD is going to be, if it's going to be 1.0, I got a 6.0. Those were your bragging rights back then. And it's like now, most people didn't talk about the campaign. If they talked about the campaign, it was that very slim few group of people that talked about the campaign, they enjoyed it, and it was just like, it was nice. Yes. But now it's that full-on, what's your KD, what group you in, how good you are, can you carry, can you do this, and
you got Diamond, do that? You have Diamond, do you have Dark Matter for Black Ops 3, all that stuff. Are you Master Prestige?
How many times have you prestige this weekend since the game came out? And I knew like that's what all the like from the last game was World War II. That was all the articles about. It wasn't about the campaign, even though the campaign was nice. They talked about it experimentally, but it was all about one guy has played the game so much he's already prestige 3 times in a weekend since the game has came out. And all of us as gamers are kind of just looking back at this article like, did you go to sleep? Did you eat? Did you just pee in a bottle? What was going on here? Like, and then come to find out later on, the article has since disappeared. That this particular person was sharing this account with other people. So as one would get off, the other one was getting on. They were just running this account to see how many times they could prestige, and it was just kind of like I still felt some type of way. Like, are we really online just to prestige and Call of Duty, or are we there to enjoy ourselves? I mean, that's really what gaming is all about. To go out there, have fun, make new experiences, enjoy new stories, you know, deep dive into these characters. But now you look at it, like I understand the controversy. Like you want to play the single player campaign, but you know, what do you do now?
Yeah, exactly. And I think a big thing with, for example, Black Ops 3 was they implemented that up to 4-person co-op campaign. That just brought a whole new level to that campaign experience. And what was really interesting is their decision not to put that in World War II.
But here's the thing: as I was paying attention to Black Ops 3 and World War II, Black Ops 3 was actually still, most people weren't paying attention. Those who were playing Black Ops 3 were paying attention, but those who weren't paying attention that Black Ops 3 was still getting updated as if it was still the current game.
Oh yeah.
Like it had got new maps, it had got new guns, new modes, and I'm just like, wait a minute. This game is how old now? Are y'all still updating this game?
Yep.
But like where's the focus on World War II? So
yeah, and I mean, I logged into it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago just to play a few games, just something different to break it up. And I mean, new guns, night map, you know, reskins of old maps that were turned into dark, like night maps, like they did with Battlefield.
Wait a minute, so like a night map, so like you running around in the dark?
Yeah. So like, it would be like the normal map. I can't recall what it's called just offhand because it was the first time I'd seen it. I didn't even know it. Turns out it was somebody on PC made it, or with like the mod or something with Black Ops 3 mods.
And they turned it into a regular map.
I guess. I mean, I don't, don't catch me lying. I don't know the whole backstory on how they ended up putting it in there, but I seen it. I kind of like, that's what I heard through the grapevine is how they ended up implementing that into the actual console game, the updated version. So, I mean, they're supporting it, and I think from everything I've read, everything I've heard, going back from the announcement and things in articles and such, that's what they're trying to do with Black Ops 4. They're trying to expand the lifeline of that game and continue adding content to it over the years.
So they want to create a continuous game with Call of Duty. You know, I have no problem with that. This kind of that goes into one of the games that we both played. It was Rainbow Six Siege, which has continued on since it has progressed. It is now today, which is officially its current new update, 2 new operators, and then a new map, which brings it up to 20 maps total, which I did not realize.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they're still working to this gear of trying to get 100 operators, but there's the core group of Siege players who are trying to figure out how are you going to get to 100 operators when you have literally everything out there? You're going to have to come up with new tech just to come up with a new operator, because apparently with the new ops, a lot of people are not liking one of the new ops. I can't remember her name, but she has these holograms. Yeah, a lot of people are questioning the hologram tech. And I'm just like, I don't have a problem with the hologram tech, and they were just like, just don't shoot the hologram. I was like, and it was like, well, you can't tell the difference. Okay, how many of y'all have watched, sci-fi movies, seen holograms, The Minority Report, iRobot? Holograms look completely different from the real person. Yeah. There's a fine line between it.
And so, that, to kind of chime in on that, that one of my teammates, he plays a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. He's a great guy.
Who is this person?
Redb3ard. You guys should check him out. He's actually in my chat right now on Twitch.
Hi, Red.
Red_Berserker. Great guy. He's one of my teammates. He plays a lot of Siege. But anyways, I was watching his stream today, and one of his teammates was using that specialist. And I could, as a player, if I was playing that game and I was looking closely, I could be able to distinctly tell the difference. And hey, that's a decoy versus a real player. Because a real player, they're trying to move. They're trying to break their hitbox up. You know, they're not just standing up in a window. I mean, I do because I suck at the game, and I have to learn to change my play style. But a good player that's seasoned in that play style, they're not going to be sitting like that decoy stands. It just stands up like with the gun out, right?
Okay.
So it's a very clear, distinct difference in a player.
Okay.
And but that also leads into another question. If they're doing 100 operators, as the game progresses, are they progressing the timeline of the setting of each operator to match the tech of that current modern day time?
Well, are you referring to far as like the age of the operators, or are we talking about like far as the time of when these operators are getting revealed?
When they're getting revealed.
Well, I mean, far as like for most people who don't know, I'm not for sure if this is on Xbox as well, but I know on PlayStation, every time it's one of the operators' birthday, there's an event particularly geared towards that operator where you can win a charm or anything like that, but we know when the operator's birthdays are. So if that's the key to know when the operator's birthdays are, some of these operators are 3 years old.
Yeah.
Well, I say 1 to 2 years older since they've been introduced into the game. And to see it now, I understand where you're coming from, but it's just like I don't see them getting to that point quite yet. Only for the simple fact is we haven't really progressed the actual individual story that's built into the game, quote unquote, that far, into the future. We just had Outbreak mode, which had the whole infested
zombies and infested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it going that far yet. I see them dropping more events like that will progress it, and that's how the story will progress forward. Some of the operators will get older and things of that nature, but I don't see it going any too far unless one of those events are getting dropped.
That makes sense.
Other than that, let's get back to the other part of this question that we got started to. Battlefield 5. Most people want to know the controversy behind Battlefield 5. For most people, when Battlefield 5 was introduced, it was introduced that the main I say the star. I'm not gonna say protagonist. The main star of Battlefield 5 was a woman. This also brings up the issue of Battlefield 1, which was it was Battlefield 1, right?
Yep. Okay. That came out last year.
Battlefield 1 last year was an African American guy on the front, which caused controversy as well. This year, it's a woman. And a lot of guys are having an issue that, the main person's a woman. Well, why do you have an issue with it being a woman? Y'all do realize, like, we're in the point of, what is this, World War II? Women were involved. So, at some case and point, you have to move with history. If you don't want to move with history, then stop playing these games. Because there are things like Call of Duty World War II that moves with time. It doesn't have all the stuff that's in it, but it did progress and actually tell you, certain parts of it can't physically say certain things, like
that is
the N word and not the NI word, but the NA word. We know Germany and all that pizzazz, but can't say that. So now we have women. So do you see a real problem with it being that Battlefield 5 is introducing women into the game?
I mean, does it on a personal level? I embrace it. I think it's a great thing personally. I think if you have an issue with that, then again, like you mentioned, you need to go read a history book.
Sure.
Women were involved. They may not have been right there on the front line per se, but they were involved both in the United States and as well as overseas, both U.S. forces, European forces, and Russian forces.
Right.
You can look any of that up on any History Channel documentary. There were squadrons and platoons specifically of women that were, for example, sniper groups, which that was a thing that goes back to Battlefield 1 that they implemented with the Russian team was women, and when you pick a recon class or recon kit, sometimes you'll spawn as a woman, and that is why. Because there is that diversity there. There are just people out there that are so caught up in being, I don't even know how to describe it, but only men can go fight and defend their country, or what, I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. We won't go there.
No.
But my point is, people get caught up on that, and they refuse to realize that women are just as strong and powerful as men are in those categories, and they need to be represented. And I think personally, if you have an issue with that, Battlefield is not the game for you.
No, it's not. But this also brings up the game that we were previously talking about before, Rainbow Six Siege. A lot of the operators are female operators, and a lot of the most picked operators are female operators. Now, a lot of guys that do play this game play as those said female operators. Now, we look at Rainbow Six Siege, it's more in a current modern timeline. But you look at Battlefield 5, it's more in a historic timeline when women really didn't have as many rights or was out there as prominent as they are now. I look at it this way. If you can play any game currently with a modern timeline that has a female character, operator, fighter, anything like that, but you can't deal with Battlefield 5 having the main person be a woman, you need to stop playing games. Yeah. Period. Hands down. Because I only feel this way is because I've prominently played a lot of fighting games as the female characters because I have enjoyed them more. Yeah. Rainbow Six Siege, a couple of favorite characters of mine on there are some of the women. And I'm just like, I don't have a problem with it. If they dynamically go out there and handle their business, let them handle their business. Like if they got your back, they got your back. Yep. Simple as that. Like, what is the issue with it? Like, it goes into all the different controversies where a lot of people are saying now that games have gotten to the point to where they're trying to diversify the stars of the game into different, whether it be Asian or a woman or black or Hispanic or anything like that. And a lot of people are not sitting right with it. Yeah. And it's funny to me because it also goes back to Resident Evil 5. The controversy behind it because of the setting that it was in, because of the infected that you went and fought with Chris Redfield and his partner Shiva were of African American looking descent. And a lot of people was like, oh, that's racist. A white guy going out there killing black people. But it's just like the year of Battlefield 1, Watch Dogs 2, pretty much all the hot fall games that year, the star was a black person. Now this year, we have a lot of the stars are women. And it's just kind of like, yeah, y'all don't have a happy balance anywhere in games.
Well, and that's the thing. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. Some people like him, some people don't. But Rich from the Review Tech USA, he's one that I watch very regularly because he's blunt. He will tell you like it is, and he doesn't care if you like his opinion or not. He just is one of those guys. That's why I relate to him, because that's the way I am. And, he was talking about that, and just talking about this whole issue and this whole controversy. And the truth is, it doesn't matter which way these developers try to sway. They're not going to make everybody happy. No. And I think that it's great that EA, specifically the DICE department of EA that's making Battlefield and all these other games, they are not giving in to the pressure that they are coming out and they're saying, look, times are changing. Times are changing. The stars of these games are, sometimes they need to be black, sometimes they need to be women, sometimes they need to be Hispanic, sometimes they need to be white. It's all based on the story, the setting, and the environment that we are creating around them. And the truth is, even if, for example, if there were never any women that fought in World War II, what's wrong with changing it up a little bit? It's a video game. True. If you want 100% historical accuracy, get on Netflix. There's plenty of war documentaries.
we not gonna talk about documentaries.
So that's all I'm gonna say about it. So,
but someone in our Spreaker chat, by the name of Kenna, he said this brings up a big topic about how some people were mad about people of another race being in the Hobbits. I would say one thing that I like about Siege is the diversity, whether it be gender or ethnicity.
Absolutely,
and I agree. And
I
it's like
100% agree with that.
Like, you look at all the different games out there, you look at all the different movies, and you look and see that sometimes you just got to change the normalcy of things. There's no possible way you could lead every movie out there, every TV show, every game, every cartoon with the same thing. It's not going to work. You have to change some stuff around. And I look at, like, I go back, way back, not too far back, but way back enough so people can understand. If anybody remembers, it was around the time that Batman was kind of hot. They came out with an all-female Batman universe TV show called Birds of Prey. It was Batman and Catwoman's daughter with Batgirl and I can't remember the other young lady.
I know what you're talking about. I never watched it, but I do know what you're talking about.
That was a very good show. It did not garner the ratings at the time that it needed, for the simple fact is because it did not highlight where the people that it needed. It didn't have the correct time for it to be shown, and it did not, get the promotion that it needed. People were expecting to see Catwoman or expecting to see Batman or any of those particular people, and I felt like this is around the time that Charm was still out. You can have those type of dynamic shows if you do it right. You have to promote, you have to give them the right story, the right background, the right lead in to say, hey, we're going to use this most powerful woman to show y'all that she can go out here and do the same dangerous junk as Catwoman, same dangerous vigilante stuff as Batman, but you're getting the best of both worlds. This is their child. Yeah. So you have both people inside of one body ready to go out there and battle. Exactly. So it's kind of one of those hard things to see, but it's also one of those things now where I wish they would go back and try it again. Right. And it's just like how Kenneth was saying about the Hobbits. Like, I felt so bad about people in the Hobbits when they were changing stuff around. People were having an issue with that. And most recently, to bring up your old screen name, we're not going to mention that. To bring up your old screen name, if most people don't know, Cap is a Star Wars fan. But this brings up the current Star Wars character onslaught, that a lot of the characters have left social media, particularly the women. And yeah. There's a soft spot in my heart, but I have felt so bad for them, because it's like, how do y'all have the nerve to go out there and disrespect these characters in this movie that have given y'all so much life? Y'all spent so much money to go watch this movie, but you have the nerve to then get online to drive somebody off of social media,
harass them.
Beyond harassment. Yeah. It's sending out death threats, sending out just ridiculous comments. Like, one of the comments was like, "Why do we need this?" What's the young lady's name? She was in the Last Jedi.
Yeah, the Last Jedi.
I can't remember her name. Yeah. She was with Finn. Yeah. They said, "Why do we have to have this brain dead character in the show? In the movie. We don't need her." I was like,
I loved her character so much.
I did too. I thought it was a very good add-on to the movie. She wasn't as big as of a character in the game. She kind of came in like at the end, but I was just like, she made such an impact.
She closed it,
She made such an impact in a short amount of time. It's just kind of like, why are y'all so hard on her? Yeah. Like, what did she do to y'all?
Because it's the cool thing to do.
I don't understand that. I don't get that.
It's the same thing with video games, though. If it's a AAA game, it's just a cool thing to hate on it. Even if you go out and spend money on it, people are entitled. They feel like, I spend money supporting it, so I can say whatever I want to about it. I can hate on it if I want to. I can do this. I can do that. And the truth is, I don't. Are they right and wrong to critique? No. But it's all about how you do it. It's all about approach. and harassing, death threats, you know, wishing failure on a company, anything like that. Horrible, horrible practice.
Very
Horrible practice. And that will follow you, especially if you grow and develop in whatever that community is.
Mm-hmm.
You have tainted your name by going out and harassing somebody, or again making like death threats and stuff like that.
Right. But here's a question that I pose to you in that particular situation. With you being a streamer on Twitch, have you seen this particular type of harassment go on in your channel?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I've dealt with harassment to a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I worked at GameStop, somebody found out I worked there, whether it was somebody where maybe I've let it slip, or somebody that knew I worked there from I met them,
Mm-hmm.
and then they found me on Twitch or whatever. I've had threats to the point of like they made an account called the GameStop Bomber and started talking in my chat and followed me or hosted me or something, and that pops up on the screen, and you're just staring, you know, you're trying not to give them a reaction because that's ultimately what they're looking for out of you, and you're trying not to, and it's to a level of all I can do is go through the motions. I can ban them, I can block them, and I can report them to Twitch. And I will say the report system is a lot more thorough. It's a lot more in depth than it used to be. Right. I've seen it from a viewer to viewer. I've seen it with, I have a good buddy of mine. He's another good streamer. His name's Kazabuya. He's not on my team. He's an Australian broadcaster. Mm-hmm. He's black, and he's been a victim of harassment, of people making names that basically whenever he says them out loud, they're calling him the N-word.
Right.
And, you know, I'm a mod on his channel, and there's been times where it's just ban, because it's just, the people will get so bored, I guess, is what it is boredom. Mm-hmm. And they will create 10 or 13, 14, 15 accounts just to go in and do that.
Well, and then now that brings up another topic. Most recently, I'm not for sure if you saw it, but there was a streamer. Matter of fact, it was two partner streamers. One was a mod in this particular streamer's channel, and they joined in spelling out the N-word with a hard R in the chat. So not only was it was two partner streamers, the streamer itself, and then people in the chat. So I'm looking at that and seeing that as there should be some hard consequences and repercussions from that. So the consequences and repercussions that have come down is those particular individuals have been banned. Their accounts have been suspended for 30 days. Mm-hmm. Now, some people saw that as very like a tap on the wrist. Some people saw that as being enough. Some people said that's not enough. Being that these people are partnered, what do you feel about it?
I mean, I fall into the category of everybody does make mistakes. Mm-hmm. But when it's something blatantly obvious, and they're chiming in on it, mm-hmm. they're tuning in, you know, at that point you are not making a mistake. Right. You are the problem. You are creating that problem, and you're enforcing that environment. Right. If you were my mod, for example, and you came in and you were typing that out, you know, for whatever reason, and I just allowed you to continue doing it, I never even warned you, timed you out, or anything like that. I'm permitting you to do that, and now mm-hmm. you're an influence on everybody else in there. Right. Because it doesn't matter what Twitch's terms of services are. Whenever that person's in your chat, if they see somebody else getting away with it, and you're a smaller guy like myself, everybody else thinks they can get away with it. And if you point somebody else out but not somebody else, you're playing favoritism, and you cannot do that. It doesn't matter if they're a sub, if they donate you thousands of dollars a year, or if they've been following you for the entire time you've had your account, your channel. You cannot play favorites. If you are playing favorites, you are the problem. Specifically in that category.
I mean, one thing I'm not understanding as a Twitch streamer, because I also stream on Twitch and I also stream on Mixer as well. What I'm not understanding is the whole premise of from this partnership level. Um, like we have a lot of partners who are now joining in on this dangerous road of showing us that maybe we shouldn't be partner. Maybe we should just stay affiliate. Maybe we should just continue to create our content as is, and even if we hit the qualifications for partner, to not do the application, because you then have to be lumped in with these other people who are going about doing these things in other channels in their own streams. Other people streams, they moderate stuff that they say on Twitter and other forms of social media, and it just kind of makes you wonder, like at this point, like a lot of people are asking Twitch to come down harder on partners because you are setting the example for the company.
Mm-hmm.
You are the face. We're the affiliates. We're the ones trying to grow to be up there where you are. And considering the fact that we're all the face of the company, but you are the most prominent face. Because the partners are the ones that they see, because those are the ones that they're looking for.
Those are the
we are the affiliates.
Guys.
They're just like, that's everybody else.
They're supposed to be our influence.
Right. And it's like now you see these things like, it's probably a sore spot for some people, so please understand, no disrespect. The whole thing with Dr. Disrespect and him saying what he said about his infidelity with his wife, and that playing out on Twitch, him being gone for the time period that he was gone, then he came back.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people saw that as a good thing that he did what he did, but I have that other group that saw that as a very questionable thing. You're telling everybody we're involved because she's been in the streams, but I look at that and I want to know what your opinion is. I look at that as being like you kind of played the dozen with people. You set an example for everybody because now you're not that focused. I don't really hear your name as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you did that. And you're supposed to be the examples. And I understand people make mistakes. That's fine. But you have to understand, you have everybody looking up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what do you do?
I mean, he has big guys, even looking up to him, coming in his chat, talking in his chat that are sub to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a big name, for sure. And as far as my opinion on it, me personally, I don't care. It's none of my business what somebody does in their personal time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been a part of families that a part of a family that have made mistakes and made on both sides
mm-hmm.
of the parents. So from his family's perspective, I feel for them. I feel for their child. I feel for that because that will always be a challenge in their family.
Right.
But this is the thing. Which is your job? That is your career. I don't go to my job, my day job, and tell them about, hey, this is what happened to me. My girlfriend made me mad because she did this or she did that or whatever. It's not their business. Just like if I get on Twitch and let's say, for example, something like that was to happen,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't share that because I believe in transparency, but there's a line. There's a very fine line of transparency where
mm-hmm.
where if for example, a lot of people don't like Boogie0928 or whatever on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like whenever him and his wife finally divorced, he had to be that transparent because she's in our videos. She helps him make videos. She is a character in his Francis clips. So he had to be that transparent. But you never really seen his wife on stream much. She would, feed him or whatever, like goofing off, like to do their little sponsor videos and stuff like that during the streams. And, if that completely quit or was cut out, I can maybe see that transparency, like, hey, we're getting a divorce because I messed up.
Right.
But you hadn't even started working through your problems yet. You hadn't started taking your time off yet. I don't really see the purpose in that transparency to that extent. I do believe in some transparency of, hey, me and my wife have some stuff going on. I need to take some time off and focus on that. I think that would have been a much better approach to that.
I'm sorry. I just got to do this. I got to give you a round of applause on that one. Most people can hear this later on, but I had to give you a round of applause on that one because that's the truth. It is the honest truth because it's like you look at things like that and it's like you want to be transparent, but you don't want to be too open and transparent there because you have to remember how deep and how far your life can go on Twitch. Like you can be sponsored, you can be end up on GameStop videos, you can be in
you could be like Dr. Disrespect
right.
if you work hard enough. He's sponsored by, literally he can look at a company and go, you're making me this product, and they'll do it.
Right.
Why? Because he brings in, well, at the time, 40, 50,000 people watching him. Now he's down into like 15K, which is still huge.
Right.
That is still huge, but that definitely impacted him because people, like you said, look up to him as an example, and they seen him come out and admit that, and they went, oh, well, you're not who I thought you were.
Right.
You know, and really, he's really just a persona on the website, which is a great persona. I love it. I embrace it. I think it's great. If I'm having a really crappy day at work or something, I'll pull his stream up. Instantly makes me feel better. He's hilarious.
True. Now, this brings up another streamer. If I'm not mistaken, he is partner Ninja. Ninja most recently said that he was going to stop all the cursing and whatnot in his streams after the whole recent incident of them assuming, or he actually said, I didn't get a chance to look at the clip of him saying the N-word during the stream, and now you really don't see him as prominent clips all over Twitch and Twitter and everything else, but everybody still knows his name. It brings up another thing. It's kind of like a lot of people's like, well, you're not going to curse him. Well, I'm not going to come by the stream. So you only came by the stream because he had a foul mouth? I mean, what are we actually looking for here on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because, you know, I have my days where I will cut loose and fire off some language.
I've been there.
Now, that particular word is something that has never crossed my mind to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Especially on the live stream.
Right.
I've got my future and my career to think about, you know, and if you're that mad at a game, you need to take a break. And this is another thing. I looked that particular clip up. I don't know, because he's playing with somebody else, and they're both talking at the same time, and I heard the word, but it did not match his mouth movement.
Right.
So I don't think it was him, based on that clip. And you can't edit clips.
No, because it is what it is once it's clipped.
But I will also say there could be a desync. There could have been anything that happened. Internet could have like spiked and it desynced and it set his camera off to not match the audio for a split second.
Right.
So it could have been him. So, you know, my thoughts on that whole discussion of topic is Twitch needs to look at how their website's being portrayed from broadcasters.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want that kind of talk, which I don't agree with that word, period, across the board, but if they don't want you to be risking that, they need to look at this is kind of another sore spot. They either need to make a decision of no language or very mild, kind of like YouTube has done. But then again, that falls into the whole censorship topic.
Right.
And I'm like anybody else that's a content creator. I don't believe in censorship.
No.
At all. I don't believe in it. A lot of these games that are even banned on Twitch, I don't believe they should be banned. That's another topic.
I've seen that list.
A lot of them.
I've seen that list. Some of them, yes. But the other ones, no. Some of them are just like, they're just that way because it's just like,
well, yeah.
It's an anime type game and they're very prominent about displaying sex. So, yeah, I understand.
Well, that, yeah. But there are some, like, specifically A-rated. There are some very specifically A-rated games. I'm like, there should be a category that is like AO only. Mm-hmm. You know, and you have to have a verified account just to verify, hey, I'm 18 or older, I can access this.
Right.
I mean, does that fall into that other topic of like porn and stuff on stream?
It almost falls up under that topic to a sense, but you have to be very careful with it. But we have somebody in chat. Michael May says we're playing a dangerous game in the gaming industry by putting these people on a high pedestal, particularly, Dr. Disrespect Ninja. The same could be said about developers. Look how vicious people are treating Bethesda game studios over leaks from Kotaku. We have to remember that these people are just that, people. They are fallible just like we are. Just because they found success and money does not mean they are immortal from the consequences of the same things that happen to them. What do you think?
I agree with Michael. I think there's a lot of lack of empathy, specifically in the United States, if I'm being honest. I don't know, what exactly the cause of that is, because there's a list of topics there that could be discussed too. So without diving down that rabbit hole, there's a lack of empathy, specifically in the gaming industry. I've worked several retail jobs, and the worst customer base I've ever dealt with is people that shop at video game stores. Not all of them, but they are some of the worst people. And it's because, I don't know if it's because they never left mom's basement. I don't know if it's because they never played sports growing up. I don't know if they feel like they're entitled because it's their source of entertainment, and they carry how their online persona is over in their real life. I don't know what what causes that. And specifically, game developers probably have one of the worst jobs on the planet because they can never make anybody happy.
No, you're never gonna make anybody happy. Not even. I say at the most you may get as close to 60%. You're not getting above that.
And poor Lord Todd Howard. I mean, he can't make anybody happy with Fallout, man. And Fallout 76. I'm hyped. I'm always hyped about a Fallout game. I mentioned it. I've mentioned it like in streams and the website bio and stuff. Fallout 3 is the first RPG I ever played. It is my favorite RPG.
Well,
it will always be my favorite game because I have, I don't know, probably thousands of hours logged. I'm just guesstimating. I've played it on every platform and beat it over and over and over again.
I'm just looking over here at this rack of games that is right next to me, and I'm looking for this particular game to see if it's here.
Well, the case isn't there because it's put away in the closet with the rest of the collectibles. I got the. You remember that Mini Nuke Collector's Edition they did?
Yes.
Yeah, I bought 2 of those.
Oh, good.
Just to have one unopened. It is my favorite franchise. I have a Pip-Boy up there on that shelf, and I have an extra one in the closet up here.
I'm just letting y'all know, for y'all who have never seen this room outside of this stream.
Yes,
I can guarantee you there's a lot of expensive shit in this room.
People on Twitch, don't base that off of this wall. This is the emptiest wall in this room.
Yeah, everything that you're looking for is behind the camera,
behind you. So the rumors, the leaked articles that he's discussing or mentioning, are that it's going to be a survival game. So the best example I can think of, without going overboard, is maybe like Rust. I don't know how familiar you are with Rust, but
or like H1Z1.
H1Z1, Rust, but you're still starting in a vault. You're still coming out of it. They haven't revealed or hinted or leaked or whatever. If it's going to be mass multiplayer, if it's going to be like co-op or whatever. Personally, I play a lot of Bethesda games. I doubt they're going to go down the rabbit hole of MMO style like Vault 76. But
if they do go MMO,
I have a lot of faith in them as a company. I do.
But if that's the leak that it's a survival game, the question to everybody out there, in my honest opinion, isn't all Fallout games technically survival anyway?
Yeah, they are. And I've always thought it would be awesome if, for example, if you and I were wanting to play Fallout, to go, hey, let's pair up and let's explore together. Even if it means whenever you go back to your game out of my world, you have to start back from where you left off in your world. Your save doesn't carry over from my world, your progression, or vice versa. I would be okay with that because that makes it our own unique experience to that world.
Right.
And I think that that could be a very cool potential thing with Fallout 76.
But okay, hold on. I think I understand the gist of where everybody's getting upset. You play? Have you inkling anywhere around 7 Days to Die, that type of game?
I played it when it was still like in super early alpha stage.
I think I'm understanding what people are probably leaning towards, that they're falling apart it because they're thinking it's going to be something like that. But considering the fact of how Fallout plays and that game in particular, why would that even still again be an issue? Like if we go back to Fallout 4, they prepped you for this. Like you had to learn how to build a community from the materials that you found, or the guns or whatever that you broke down into the materials that you needed. You had to grow food. You had to find water. You had to filter it. You had to create power. You had to create homes, beds, the whole nine. This was just an in-between part of the game. It wasn't really like a need to know you got to do this in order to survive in the game. This was just like something you can do. Like you saw people build whole imaginative cities with this stuff. So
and I think, you know, if they do go in this big online direction, you know, that we're mentioning, I think a lot of that's already been kind of tested with Fallout 4 with the settlements, and you know, everybody loves those. We got another settlement over here. That's like the worst thing that you can hear when you're going back to your main area. But I think part of them doing that and implementing that so heavily is maybe testing the crafting, like testing the waters of crafting cities or buildings or communities, and assigning jobs to NPCs and characters in the game
to go do things like farming and tending to the houses, take care of leaks. He's the mechanic. Go fix the cars. Go fix the holes in the roof and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if they were going to bring anything over from Fallout 4 to the 76 game, and with it being an online kind of style, if they do that, it would be the settlement or crafting of Fallout 4, because you can hate it all you want because it feels nitpicky and like busy work when you're playing the game, but it works perfectly. It's nearly flawless, and the in-depth vanilla Fallout, not even accounting for mods, the vanilla Fallout, as far as what you can make with your armor and your weapons and stuff, it is extremely in-depth.
Yeah, it's very in-depth because I played Fallout 4. Don't kill me, y'all, but I have not finished that game. I own the game, the entire season pass, and still have not finished it. I know people who know me personally, who've been to my stream, who've seen me play this, will probably cuss me out later and be like, you need to finish that game! I'm not even going to promise you that I'm going to finish that game, because the game is very extensive, and anybody who's watching me play open world games, I'm going to this area, and I'm going to complete everything in this area before I move to this other area. By the time I get done with all that, I didn't even touch the main story. I'm still over here doing extra shit that ain't got nothing to do with the game. I'm just doing it. But Dark and Row brings up this question here. It kind of falls in line to the previous topic we were saying before and what we're saying now. Is what are our thoughts on how most companies only listen to the higher ranked streamers and players of their game? I know not all companies do that, but I tend to notice that some of the bigger games are updated based on what the top 10% of the player base says. Even if 50% of the player base were to complain about something, if they're considered a nobody to the company, it doesn't mean much.
Well, I can't speak for these companies because obviously I don't work for them. But I don't necessarily think they view somebody like myself or you or Rogue as somebody that's a nobody. I think, though, that they look at, it all ties together. Networking, you know, that can be something that I think that's a good topic to talk about too. But it's all networking, and they go to websites like Twitch or Twitter or Facebook or whatever you're streaming on or creating on or talking about, and they look at these people that are bringing them in revenue, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you're a broadcaster, let's say you're pulling in 30,000 viewers, 60,000 viewers, or we can go lower. Dan's gaming 10,000 is a normal day for him, and he plays whatever he wants to play. anything, he's pulling 10K. That matters because if their game is not an online experience, for example, like Dishonored or Fallout or something like that, and Dan's Gaming is playing it and he's criticizing your game, he has 10,000 people watching him criticize your game.
Yeah, that's enough to put it in your wallet.
You're going to fix it.
Quickly.
You're going to fix it. And that's, I mean, from a business perspective, that's why they listen to those guys. Is it right? Because are those guys' opinions always right? No. But they make them money, whether we want to accept that or not. They make them money, and money talks.
True. And I was going to talk, but this goes back to what we were talking about a second ago about Fallout, but this still falls in line to what we're talking about now. Michael says, here's the thing about Fallout 76. The engine can't handle massive multiplayer. Okay. It can probably handle co-op up to 3 to 4. The best game that I can think of with co-op is Far Cry 5. It's a single player experience with the option of playing with a friend. People are freaking out because of the whole save player one that Bethesda has been hounding over the past year. I'm more than fine with co-op in Fallout. Now, to respond to his particular statement about that, my personal opinion is that Bethesda was saying save player one as a industry thing, not particularly for them, because they've always been player one no matter what. I don't think people are hounding Bethesda over the wrong thing, and they're missing the message. They have to look at the industry. Bethesda, go look at Bethesda's games. They have always been player one, and I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with that. I'm looking at the aspect of what they're looking at. Bethesda's looking at these other companies that are just like, you were making single player games that were great. Now you're sticking to this multiplayer thing, and you're missing what made you good. And it's like, you look at, and I think that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people are looking at some of the exclusive games both on Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, and they're looking at them as like, how is this single player experience? Am I going to be deep enthralled into this game, or is this going to be another one of those games where I need to find 15 friends that play this game as well for me to enjoy it?
Yeah, and I agree with that. You know, there are people out there, they buy specific system based on their player experience, whether it's going to be multiplayer based. You got more guys buying Xboxes for the multiplayer experience, and you got more guys buying Sony for the single player, the campaign. And because Sony games always have really good stories. They always do. They Last of Us 2, Fallout, what are some other ones? I'm drawing a blank right now, just talking about.
About single player experiences as a whole?
Yeah, just
Infamous.
There you go. That's a good one. And then you got, Nintendo coming out of the gate with Switch this year. They're hitting it hard, man.
They're not wasting no time.
I mean, and they're bringing some good stuff. And not only that, their online experience is, sorry if I'm not supposed to say this, but it's kick-ass. It is kick-ass. And
I will say this much, that online experience is stable as shit. There is no problem.
Yeah. I mean, I played Doom online on the Switch through my Wi-Fi, through my phone hotspot,
and it never breaks.
And it's awesome. It is awesome. Nintendo is on their freaking A game this year.
Yeah. So, now, speaking of Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, let's get to the nitty gritty before it gets too late. E3. So I'll go back and say this. Walmart Canada, we thank you and we hate you all at the same time because you literally almost in a sense spoiled E3 for everybody because you wanted to go up and let's not even just say Walmart Canada. Let's just say Walmart in general because Walmart America, Walmart Canada, y'all have both been in this loop of effing up, and when y'all F shit up, y'all kind of destroy everything. So now with this leak, I will post the photo up on the Redb3ard podcast Twitter. This particular photo has been on point from here on out about every game that's getting leaked. From Just Cause 4, which got leaked by Steam, quote unquote, from the ads that they were releasing, from Rage 2 getting unleashed, and then a couple of other games getting unleashed as well, like Pokemon, their new Pokemon games, and a couple other games that are on their list. And I'm just kind of like, Fallout was on that list as well, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what I'm kind of looking forward to at E3 at this point.
Yeah, I know.
It's like y'all felt everything.
I mean, yeah, I mean they've kind of told some the story, like all of what we're expecting, like all up front in advance, you know. So I actually seen an article the other day that go, is there really a point in E3 anymore? And it just kind of made me like really think about that, because every time a game gets announced, I'm just like, oh well, okay, cool. Well,
Right,
you know,
missed the whole. I missed the whole just being like, all right, you know, you catch that one article, you happen to be online somewhere, and you're like, poof,
yep,
it pops up. You're like, what the shit? And
Yep.
it's like, this is getting released. Then you all hype about it. It's like now it's kind of like, okay. I mean, you're hyped, but then you're not really hyped because it's like,
the only thing I feel like now at this point with E3 that consumers and customers and gamers can really look forward to is the gameplay reveals. It's not even the announcement. Like for Fallout, I'm kind of like bitter that they revealed that trailer, because for me, I got so excited when I seen that "Please Stand By" on Twitter,
man,
it was on a GIF, like on a cycle, so it just kept playing that "Please Stand By." And I was like, no freaking way! I was like, could this be Fallout 3 remastered? Could this be a new game? Could this be Fallout New Vegas 2? Could this be something, you know, that I've been looking forward to? Because I love Fallout 3. I want a remastered Fallout 3 on
and that's what everybody was hoping for, was a Fallout 3 remaster or a New Vegas remaster. But then they trolled us even further by going on Twitch, setting up a stream that ran for at least 24 hours. That we sat here and watched random stuff go on during the stream. It was literally the Vault Boy sitting there on the screen, not doing nothing.
Yep.
With the "Please Stand By" in the background.
Yep.
And then it got dark and everybody left, nothing else happened, and the Vault Boy was just sitting there asleep with a blanket on him. Everybody just kind of looking. I sat there and I watched it for a while. They had 50,000 people sitting there watching Vault Boy. I was looking at the numbers of some of the people who were streaming at the time. Though I know their average numbers, and I'm just like, is everybody watching Fallout still?
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
how
many people's in here?
Because they're waiting, man.
And then when they revealed it, but I then kind of understand why we're getting these releases early. Only for the simple fact that we're getting these releases early is because there's so much.
There's a lot.
And there's not enough time in E3, because a lot of times, like last year, a lot of games that came out this year, we really didn't know about or even remember or even knew that they were coming because they got released after the conferences. So after the conferences were completely done, there were none. Bethesda had went, Ubisoft had went, Xbox had went, PlayStation had went, Nintendo had went. It was just a bunch of interviews until E3.
Yeah.
And that's when the more games and stuff was getting announced. But then those announcements came out, it's like, then you hear this game come out later on in the year, like, when did this get announced? And then you go looking at it, and it's like, you see 20 articles from E3.
It's like at the tail end of E3 where everybody shut their computer off.
I don't remember this being announced. But now, this year, the E3 schedule starts with, if I'm not mistaken, is it Ubisoft starts out this year?
I mean, they usually
Xbox starts this year.
They usually leave with their Just Dance.
I can't blame them. That thing still maximizes its cash. I still don't understand the Switch version, but hey, we're not gonna go there. I think Xbox is leading the year this year, and then it's Ubisoft. Then we have EA, we have Bethesda, we have PlayStation, but E3 has a block in the middle between PlayStation and the last conference. The last conference this year is Nintendo. So Nintendo waits until the big boys, quote unquote, Xbox, Ubi, and all of them go first. They waiting to the tail ass end of E3 to do their conference.
Yeah.
Which is the first time they've done a conference in a long, long time. Which also then kind of makes me wonder, what does Nintendo have up their sleeve? What do you think Nintendo has up their sleeve?
Well,
outside of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Even though we know the Smash Brothers is coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that's probably a big market that they're going to focus on because that's always a good revenue drive for them. It always is. I mean, Smash guys, that community, I have friends that are Smash guys, and that is their game. That is all they will play, and they play on a very competitive level. They'll spend any amount of money when it comes to Smash. And
well, we've been corrected. E3 is first this year. Conference.
Gotcha.
Microsoft is first on Sunday. My apologies, everyone. I didn't know. I was going off the top of my head. My bad. My bad.
Sorry. But yeah, you know, and I think though that's a big thing Nintendo will focus on is that I think they'll focus more on discussing and explaining their network as well, because there's still a lot of questions in the air about their network and what it's going to be capable of doing. Why should I pay a subscription to Nintendo Network is what a lot of people are asking. Sell me that. And I think that's another big thing they're going to focus on.
And I believe Nintendo has taken this slow crawl into the big boy status when it comes down to this thing. And most people take me on that statement, because the only reason why I say that is because they have a Switch that's powerful enough to do the things that they can do, but it's not as powerful as the big boy, Xbox and PlayStation. Everybody's hinting, though the Switch is still out, in the offsets, that the next Nintendo console will then push us into that atmosphere. Not as powerful as Xbox and PlayStation, but you know, we'll have that chunk, like that grip of Iron Nintendo. What can you do with this much power?
Yeah, and also, it's not just Nintendo either, because Nintendo, with their dev kits, they're giving developers the opportunity to prove that they can optimize their games for that other community too, that other party of gamers. And then Nintendo people are loyal, man. They don't sway.
No, they don't.
They don't sway. You know, Nintendo could make the worst mistake in the world. Nintendo people will still defend them, and I think that's important to note, because
apparently Nintendo has a 10-year contract with Nvidia. I don't know
if that's true. I mean, if it is true, you know, that's awesome.
I mean, if it's true, that's great, but I'm also questioning a 10-year contract with Nvidia, considering the fact that the chip you have in the Switch cannot be corrected because of a hack that can be done to it that can actually turn into a homebrew system. And somebody actually put the what is that thing? The virtual console. And I'm just like, but it's a hack that is in the chip that can't be corrected with an update or anything. It's affected with the chip. So that's why I'm kind of like, unless they fix the chip, send out new Switch consoles, then you're gonna piss off the rest of the people who have to deal with those consoles that can't be fixed.
Yep.
So I would assume Nintendo's like, whatever.
Well, I've heard they're coming down on people that are hacking, that they're basically banning accounts on their system.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've read something, watched a video the other day. I don't remember the guy's name. He's apparently really well known in the Nintendo market for being a hacker, as far as going in, tweaking the system, you know, unlocking it to put, you know, 1,000 games on it or whatever, you know, or hacking the game he's playing itself. And he's apparently really popular. And he got caught hacking the Switch. They even banned his account on his Switch. So apparently they're coming down pretty hard on that. You know, when it comes to Nintendo, I have been out of the loop with them for a while. So I mean, as far as my knowledge, it's pretty sparse.
Somebody's looking for Cap over here.
Man, they're blowing me up, dude. Sorry, guys.
Did we not say something we wasn't supposed to? Did Cap miss something?
Yeah, I may have. Who knows? They blow up the Discord now.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so let's get down to the last big hoorah. Name your top 10 So what you looking for to in E3?
My top 10? Man, you giving me a long list.
I'm giving you a long enough list so that way we can actually spread the love around. Because, you know, some people can be like, well, I only can do 3. You're not looking for much.
Well, I mean, for sure, Fallout 76. I want more information.
Y'all heard it here first.
On the game. So, you know, I may be, as far as streaming for you guys up there, I may be like COD and PUBG and stuff, but Fallout's always going to be my baby. And you best believe, come whenever they do their whole reveal and more info on it, I will be streaming a lot of Fallout. I will be playing a lot of Fallout.
Looks like I'm probably going to have to buy Fallout.
So that is going to be a big thing for me. But so Fallout, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. You know, I've talked about it on my YouTube channel with some of the stuff. You know, it's hard to go in detail because there's so much possibility and opportunity of what they could do with that game, with the Battle Royale mode and stuff like that. I think you could dedicate a podcast to that alone.
That's coming, as a matter of fact. The next episode after this, I'll explain to y'all what that's going to be.
Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 is a big one. I love Battlefield ever since I discovered Battlefield Bad Company 2.
High five on that one. Yeah. That's my game.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, Battlefield 5 is a big one, specifically World War II setting. I love the World War II setting. Can't say that enough. Just Cause 4 seems pretty interesting to me. I played a little bit of 3. I didn't beat it, but I liked it.
I beat 2. I didn't beat 3, and I had 3. As a matter of fact, I bought the collection edition of 3 that has the correct one. We're not going to talk about my addiction with collector's edition games. Because some of the games I got collector's edition to, I've never finished the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad about doing that too. You know, I'll buy a stack of games or something and kind of put them on the back burner, and then I'm like, crap, I gotta pick up with all these games. So, those, you know, as far as Nintendo, if they do launch a Smash Bros, that was like a childhood game on the 64. Was like Super Smash Bros, that first Smash Bros. I'm curious about that one. So if we're rolling with Nintendo, and I'm curious because I liked Wolfenstein 2. So I want more information on that on the Switch.
But before you finish that list, I want to drop a question on you.
Okay.
Here's the question that was presented. It was an actual topic that was presented. I was in a partner streamers channel. If anybody knows the onslaught of people that I watch that are partner, you probably know who this person is. We don't talk about this because I don't want him catching no flack for something he didn't do. But the topic was brought up on his channel that Smash is an FGC game, fighting game community game, or it's a fighting game, but it has never been labeled as a fighting game. The original commercial, as far as I can remember, which was very old, and I still can go back and look at that commercial and still question why I watched that commercial, that it was a party game to brawl with your friends. That's what it was labeled as. But people are now dedicating and saying that it is a fighting game if you turn items off. But that's not the premise of that game. No. The game is to originally play the game as is, items on, turn them off, whatever you want to do if it's a custom game.
Yeah.
But the premise of the game is a party brawl game with your friends or by yourself with whatever is on the game. Do you feel as if the game is a fighting game, or do you feel as it's still its original fan base of a party game with friends?
No, that's a tough question because that's very situational based, because it's all in context, I think. Because if you're partying, if you come to my house, we sit down like, hey, let's play Smash. You know, we're playing Smash Bros. We're brawling, you know, we're partying it up, you know, maybe drinking a couple beers or something like that. But if you're going to like these tournaments, and you're competing, and they've got those custom games set up and those items turned off, I think that throws it into that other category.
But that throws that particular mode into that category. Yeah. I'm not on the fence. I am on the side of this was a party brawl game. You took a mode out of this game to dedicate to a particular genre of people.
Yeah.
To then now to try to say that this game was built around that mode. No, it was not. Custom mode is literally something you have to go into the game, dedicate the time to go in, turn this switch off, that switch off, turn this on, that off, in order for it to react that way. But everybody said that they balanced the characters and weapons and items as if it was a fighting game. Okay. There are balance updates for all different kinds of games. Yeah,
that's true.
But that still doesn't dedicate it just because they updated these characters and things of that nature that it's still a fighting game.
That's correct.
Because you look at Rainbow Six Siege, big example we've been using all night. They do that all the time. Yeah. Every time there's a major update, they do the same thing with every operator. If it's changing hitbox, speed, armor, what weapons they have, what trinket.
Do it with COD too, with the weapon.
So that's what I'm saying.
Time to kill.
Do you figure that just because we'll use this cup for example, this is custom mode. This black mic is the actual game. This is what everybody assumes that Smash is, but in actuality, it's both of these.
Yeah, that's
true.
So
do you assume that just because everybody wants it to be just this, that it's a fighting game? Or do you assume that's together it's one game? You just take a piece out of it
and you focus on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the people in the FGC are dedicating that Smash fighting game. That's the way that it was put out there. It's getting that attention because y'all have given it that attention. Nintendo did not push Smash out there as one of those games to fight. Yeah. Y'all pushed that game out.
Yeah.
So Nintendo is only now at this point just pushing you along and just backing you and just say, okay, if you want to do it that way, then do it that way. But we're not going to ever change this game from what it would be and what it always has been to fit what you want.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Oh, Michael says Sakura hated the fact that people were playing Smash competitively a long time ago. That's the whole reason they introduced tripping and brawl. I think now they don't care so much. I mean, they even have Smash tournaments at E3. Speaking of E3, since we were on that subject, since you were referring to that, there is going to be a brand new Smash tournament with the brand new Smash game at E3. It is an invitational. They did already announce the people who will be fighting. How do you feel that, we're going to see this? We may or may not see this tournament, but it's going to be at E3. Do you think at this point, having this tournament is too early or too much to be giving to the community as a whole as revealing this game? Do you really think that Nintendo should take the opportune time to actually reveal the game in depth at their conference and then do the tournament? Or do you think the tournament should be the one to reveal it all?
I think because people are going to have a lot of questions either way. And that's one thing that I was actually watching a game trailer last night, and I was saying, man, I need more. The trailer was great. I was just like, they need more gameplay, because it was just showing little clips of, like, it was World War III, that game, World War III that just got announced, and there was two like split-second clips in the entire 3-minute trailer, 2.5-minute trailer of gameplay. And I think if Nintendo, if they want to do the tournament, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great concept. But if they're not giving you enough information about the game, why things work the way they do, or why controls are set up the way they are, or how it works with your system, they are not giving you enough information with that, and they're just throwing that tournament out there and saying, okay, cool, Smash is coming out, and now we're doing this tournament. There's still going to be a lot of unanswered questions.
Right. But that leads back to what we were saying earlier, like how, I can't remember who, I think it was Dark or it was Michael, who said something about how the big companies listen to these top streamers.
That does fall back into that category.
It falls back into that now because they announced the competitors in this tournament, which was an invitational.
Mm-hmm.
They invited particular people to compete. So that means these
They've
particular
shown
people
favoritism
have already played this game
Mm-hmm.
in some sense, or already playing this game, and they can't reveal it or stream it or do anything of the sort. But you're playing it already, which then puts us in a perspective of Nintendo. I love you, but this right here is a no-no, because as we as people are now wanting to get our hands on this, so unless you're going to tell us at E3 you can play Smash 2, if they can't play Smash, and the only way that we're going to be looking at it is from you explaining it to us and watching this tournament, I feel kind of forgotten a little bit that you really took me out of the situation to let me wait until this game releases.
That's true. Now, that's a new perspective to look on that. I like that.
But we can talk about E3, talk about all this stuff. We're going to wrap this thing up because you got to stream. I got to get sleep because I have to go to work, which sucks.
Me too. What time you got to go?
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, I got to be there at 9. Oh, okay. So I got a little more time to sleep in. Okay.
Yes. So, I've enjoyed this interview, this discussion, because it's let us inside of your head, what you think and your thoughts and your questions. But I know you may have some announcements and things you want to spill, so I'm going to give the mic over to you.
Well, thank you. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed having me on. I've really had a great time. It's been fun, and I hope they get the opportunity to do it again sometime in the future. But as you guys know, Captain Redbeard, I am a part of a team named Strictly Business Gaming. If you've never heard of these guys, definitely check them out. I'm a part of their stream team specifically. Team goes way back, but with a lot of great history, a lot of accomplishments. Great community of guys and girls. You can go to strictlybusinessgaming.com. Check out our website. Check out the rosters. You can check out all the other streamers that are there. Like I said, lots of great guys and girls. Very involved with their communities. They're very active, and that's to me is the most important thing when it comes to streaming is networking. Being active in your communities, developing not just one community on your Twitch, but multiple communities. Twitch, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, things like that. And these are all things that each one of these streamers' characteristics that they hold. So you guys definitely need to check them out for sure.
Any other announcements you want to let us know
about? Let's see. As far as that goes, that's pretty much it as far as I'm aware of.
All right. But what are you streaming tonight? Because I know you'll be streaming tonight, and you know everybody's gonna be asking, so you might as well go and tell them now, so there won't be no surprise.
Okay, so tonight I will be streaming Call of Duty World War II. I'll be streaming pretty much after this podcast is over until about 2 a.m.
No stream sniping, please.
Yeah, no stream sniping, unless you kind of enjoy that. I mean, whatever. I can't stop you, but please don't. And next week we're probably going to dive into, I don't know, some more Siege maybe or something. I don't know. I just kind of
update is out.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of just roll. I just kind of roll with it. I play whatever I'm feeling. I did try a game out yesterday, Realm Royale, and I think it turned out to be like the Paladins Battle Royale or something like that. I don't know.
Paladins? Really?
Yeah, I think that's the game. I don't know. They were telling me in chat. Anyways, me and my buddy Ivo, you guys should check him out too. He's another good buddy of mine at streams. But we were playing it. I was impressed for not being a game in the spotlight. It literally gained spotlight because Ninja and Tim the Tapman woke up yesterday. Servers were down on Fortnite. They were like, "Oh, let's find a game to play," and they found that it's free to play. It's on Steam. Downloaded it, and it blew up on Twitch. Buddy came to me and presented it to me. I was like, you know what? Whatever, why not? We'll try it out. Dude, it is incredibly optimized. I was so impressed. Little server lag little server lag. I mean, it's an alpha game.
They weren't expecting all of y'all to come.
You know, yeah. I mean, I could imagine their server room had smoke coming out of it with all the
what the
people
hell
on
is going on?
What is going on? But you know, lots of crazy stuff. So,
I got you.
So might check that out some more. You know, maybe next week or something.
Okay, I don't mind that. Again, I greatly thank you and I appreciate you for coming in and allowing me to be able to do this interview and do this discussion with you. I know we've started late. We've ran completely over time because you're running into your stream time, which I know he's probably going to need a break, people. So don't kill me if he doesn't start on his normal time. He does need a break. He need to go smoke or take a piss, go eat. Let him do that, please. It's just... Otherwise, you're going to get the nasty Redbeard, and I don't think y'all really want that tonight, and I don't think he wants to go.
I don't want to be Grumpy Dan.
Let's not do that. I've seen Grumpy Dan. No, let's not do that. And everybody who's seen Grumpy Dan, let's not go there, okay? But the next podcast that I am going to do, this series will continue. Captain Redbeard was the absolute first. He was the first interview that we had here on the Red Ring. I will be interviewing...
Oh man,
was that the phone?
I just dropped my phone.
Oh good lord, my heart skipped a beat because I'm like, oh, crack screen, Jesus.
Yeah, mine too. I just like, all right, cool. Sorry, continue.
This podcast will continue with more interviews. So we will have more people from Twitch or Mixer or any of the streaming concepts. Zilla Noises, if anybody know who Zilla is, she's another Nashville Twitch streamer. We will be having her on here as well. I'm working on a few more streamers as well. Another good buddy of mine by the name of Mogenkai, who is a Bloodborne Souls streamer. He does a lot of personal bets and a lot of challenge runs and stuff on that as well. Okay. He will be on here. We will have a few more people on here. So I'll be looking in and out. So if you see me pop up in your stream and I say hi, just know I'm looking at your content. Just don't get scared. I'm just looking. That's all. So if you just randomly see my name pop up, which right now it's in blue, I'm about to change the color officially tonight to yellow. So if you see my name pop up and you see it, I'm looking. So that means you might get a message like, hey, you want an interview? So I'm just giving you the fair warning now in advance. Okay? Cool? Okay. Other than that, my next episode, before I get ready for my next interview, the next episode will particularly be diving completely into the whole battle royale. We're just gonna call it a genre. It's not a game. It's a genre because everybody has one. Man, I wish everybody has an opinion. Man, I will look. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to jump in because I promise you, there's a whole discussion.
I want in on that one.
Battle royale can go a long, long way, long as it's done a very unique way for your game and your game alone. I'm gonna give you on that.
That Realm Royale was very unique to its genre. That made it stand out. That's for sure.
That's what it's supposed to do. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get out of here. I thank you for each and every last one of you who's watching on Twitch. Everybody who's here in the chat room, who's listening but not in the chat room, but they're listening. I appreciate you. This podcast will officially be available on YouTube, SoundCloud, and on Spreaker. So if you didn't get a chance to listen or you want to go back and get something out of here, you're more than capable of downloading this podcast. If you want to terrorize my voice or Captain Redbeard's voice, just make sure you don't do anything that says it's something that we said that we did not say, because I promise you we will fight tooth and nail about our names. That's what we do. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to Captain Redbeard. Thank you to Strictly Business and all of y'all fine people, especially all the follows. All the insight and everything else. I've been watching. I've been lurking, reading tweets. I've just been, if I haven't said anything, I just haven't, because I like to lurk. So if I'm just roaming around, you just randomly pop up and I say something on your tweet, that's just me, because I'm just watching.
Yep.
Other than that, I'm going to let Mr. Redbeard go because he's got things to do. He got to get on his stream and I'm holding him up, and I know y'all are waiting on him. Y'all got to get to Unicorn Land. If y'all see what I see. There's like 8 of them in this room somewhere, so we not gonna say anything wrong. I'm just looking for that mask.
It's hiding over there, bud. You're safe, but watch out right behind you.
Yeah, I saw the one behind. There's one behind my head, literally with the red horn on his head, and this beautiful case right here that encompasses his entire PC has a lightning blue unicorn on it on the side of it. Custom case, very beautiful. But I'm almost kind of terrorized. The minute I find a black unicorn in his room, I am running.
Hey, credit to the Karu Cat. One of my long-term subs sending me that. She's from Australia. She's a streamer as well.
Aussie land, Aussie.
To me from the Aussie land. Shout out to her for that computer case. It's absolutely beautiful.
No lie, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Like, if y'all ever get a chance to ask Redbeard for a picture just this beautiful side right here. Oh, I'm in love just in the color alone. But it makes the unicorn look fierce. It has attitude. All of them do, actually. We're not even gonna go there. Truth be told, all of them got it. Because it's one above my head. It's gray. White eyes with a red horn. I'm just like, okay, you must be the evil brother, the one over here on the case. But I'm gonna get out of here because I can talk forever. Red can talk forever. He's probably gonna talk to y'all forever tonight. Yeah. And it's getting really, really late, so I'm gonna let him go.
Speaking of there's the Unicorn Ranch.
Unicorn hype in the building. All right, peoples. I'm going to bid y'all farewell. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for coming through. This is the Red Ring Podcast. I am yours truly, Superstar 901. This is Captain Redbeard.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to skedaddle up out of here. I'm going to play some Dead Cells on my PC while he's streaming for a little bit. Then I'm going to go home and go lay down. But I'm out of here, peoples. See you next time. Bye. Peace. Okay,
that was beautiful, man.
Good Lord. I was so freaking nervous.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys. Seriously.
I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. Y'all think I'm playing, but I was like, I want to make sure this is right. I was just nervous. Like, this is not good.
I was a little nervous too, man. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I'd never done a podcast. And I think for me personally, it's a little more intimidating sitting in front of just a mic with no camera than it is a camera.
Oh, because then it makes you kind of just
I can't see who I'm talking to, even though I can't see who I'm talking to there.
Right.
But I know I'm talking to you guys.
You know your audience, but then again, when you don't know your audience, you don't know who's listening.
Exactly.
You don't know what's gonna be said, who's gonna be said, and then you're just like, oh,
that's awesome. So, 1 second. So, guys, give me 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 20. I'm going to reset up my camera, my microphone, and move back behind my desk, and we'll be back live. We're going to play some Call of Duty World War II, so you guys would keep the stream tabbed or whatever. If you want to get up, go take a break, piss, whatever. You guys got 20 minutes, okay? 20 minutes. And again, you guys drop some hype if you would. This Superstar 901, make sure you guys give him a follow if you haven't yet. Do you have a Red Ring Podcast channel for Twitch?
No, not on Twitch. They can just follow my regular Twitch if they want. If you want to follow my regular Twitch, it's just Superstar901. Or if you just want to follow me on Twitter, it's Superstar_901. If you just want to follow the podcast, where I'm starting to talk a lot more, it's the Red Ring Pod, like POD at the end. You can follow either account, or hell, you can just follow my Superstar account and find all the stuff for Red Ring. Either way, I'm here, he's here, I'm happy. So, like I said, if you see my name pop up in your chat, you might get a whisper. Just keep them open.
There you go. Yeah. And everybody that caught either the end of the podcast or did not catch it, this will be going up on his YouTube channel because that's why we streamed it. I've got it where it's saving broadcast, so it's going to go on his YouTube channel. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel as well. With his permission, I'm going to do that. Also on Spreaker, Spreaker.com. You can go to the website and create an account. It's free. You can download the app on your phone and download the podcast once he uploads. Is it automatic? Oh, so it's already uploaded as we're recording it. So you guys can go on there and download it right now and start listening to it if you would like.
If you want to do all that, you can just go straight to YouTube, or you can go straight to SoundCloud. SoundCloud is the Red Ring. It's on there as well. YouTube is on there as well. It's soon to come. If you have a Spotify account, it will be available there. If you You listen to iHeartRadio, it'll be available there as well. I think I'm counting down. I have 3 more episodes to go. Once I have 3 more episodes in the books, ready to go, I'll be available. You can find me on iHeartRadio. You can find me on Spotify. So that way, if you're listening to any of those, you can listen to me in the car. You can listen to me on the plane. You can download it. Do whatever you want. Yours truly, I appreciate all of you. So once again, thank you.
Absolutely.
For allowing me to be able to do this.
Absolutely. All right.